Good morning, dear students. Here I am Mary Sashikala, Associate Professor, would like to present the topic on investigating the outbreak. So, today you all are isolated, you and me, because of the outbreak which is going on. So, it is very easy to understand practically because we are in the peak stage of the outbreak. So, the outbreak is all about the coronavirus. So here the what is the meaning of this outbreak means it's like an outbreak in epidemiology. Outbreak it is a sudden increase in occurrence of a disease in a particular time and a particular place. It may affect a small and localized group or impact upon thousands of people across the entire continent. So the latest disease, the outbreak around the world which is notified is coronavirus. So we had so many outbreak news such as Ebola virus disease, H1N1 pandemic 2019. Now currently the going on is all about the coronavirus. So what is the meaning of this outbreak? Especially the investigating the outbreak means it is a set of procedures which is used to identify the cause which is responsible for the disease, the people affected, the circumstances, and the mode of spread of the disease and other relevant factors involved in propagating the epidemic, and to take the effective actions to contain and to prevent the spread of the disease. Even the outbreak, it means it is a more cases to be detected than expected in a given area and in a given time. The term epidemic and outbreak something which is used interchangeably. So when you knowing about these outbreak, so everyone is afraid about how the end, so how to control. So that's why a person, a group of people, or the scientists, or the research people, a team, that should be there to investigate how the outbreak which happened. So the investigating an outbreak, it is a so we have to use a set of procedures. We should use a set of procedures which will identify the cause of the disease, how much people are affected, the circumstances, the environment, how the disease has spread, and other any relevant factors which is involved, which is propagating the epidemic, or now it become the pandemic. So how we can control it? So here, how to investigate the outbreak? There are several ways we can able to control the outbreak, or we can investigate the outbreak. There is the first one is a passive surveillance, and the second one is the active surveillance, and the third one is a sentinel surveillance, and fourth one is a syndrome surveillance, and other one is the media. So these are the ways we can able to investigate this outbreak. So passive surveillance means by seeing the books and other materials, old data can be collected, and active surveillance means we are doing the screening test on the people, those who are affected. Currently, it is going on thermal screening and PCR test, which is going on. And the other thing like syndrome surveillance, which is a clinically we can identify the cases, and other phase or the medias. So we can able to communicate with the people, and we can able to identify the reason how and this has happened. And the syndrome, again, the people having the some symptoms as like coronavirus, it is very clear that these symptoms like dry cough and the without running nose and the sore throat and the fever, so these all the syndrome which will to be investigated to find out the reason how the disease which has happened in the period. So number of steps. First, we cannot identify all of a sudden of everything. So there are some steps which we have to go very systematically, which is taken to investigate the outbreak. So the first one, we should confirm whether there is an outbreak. The second one, we have to describe how the outbreak. So what is how the disease that to be described. The third one, we have to determine the cause for the outbreak. And the last one, we should find out certain measures to control the outbreak. Now, we all know that already the outbreak of coronavirus, which is confirmed, which is described by the WHO, and we are still getting doubts of what may be the cause. It has started from the animals or it has man-made the virus, and how to control that. So the investigation is going on. So here, that's why the first one we should confirm, is there any outbreak? So before we had a disease like Ebola virus outbreak H1N1. So these that all they investigated the medicine the way they went through as like us. They have to confirm. But is there is an outbreak? So we first confirm the baseline of the disease identification in a given time. Then we have to compare it if there is an outbreak. So, however, more cases are expected. Other causes of outbreak such as increased testing. So, sometimes it may not be an outbreak. So maybe they increase the number of testing, so more cases has been identified with a particular disease, so we can call it as an outbreak. So that's why you should find out that whether it is because of increased testing, so it leads to outbreak, or there is a outbreak, or lab error. Because of the lab testing, there is any mistake happen in the lab testing. So in the laboratory, the lab technicians made a mistake of finding out more cases in identifying that they have the disease, any problem in the machine, so that to be find out, and increased in population, etc., to be ruled out. So how much population people are affected a particular disease? So first we should confirm that is there is an outbreak. And second thing, and after confirmation we have to describe. So that means once it is confirmed, so the case, second step to describe the characteristics of the case. That means, so the investigator to confirm who is the case. So here, uh, as per coronavirus, the case they very clearly described. Even many people have the common cold and sore throat, fever, but these all not a case for the coronavirus. The case which have the dry cough without sputum, and also the sore throat and fever, and there is a history of the that particular affected person has been communicated with the other persons. So the history or the to confirm the case. So who is the case? Who is case which the particular affected with the particular disease? So we should confirm the particularly, because so many symptoms will be equal to some other diseases. So that we should confirm all the cases found, whether we have found all the cases with the particular epidemics, and describe the case very clearly, the characteristics of the case to be done very clearly, who is the case, and the case definition should match with that. So when we the expert committee, the investigating committee must define the case, and that the case also should be matched with that, the characteristics, how the disease will be. Should not be mistaken that who is not affected, that cannot be taken as a case. So in coronavirus cases, we heard about so many people in China, they are pulled to do the testing, even they don't have the disease, they are not having the characteristics of the disease, but they have all been tested. So because of the testing time, they are all together, and it has started to spread from the who is really having to other person. So the case you have to describe very clearly, and commonly the time. So what time it started? So as like coronavirus, the time they started, they found from the December month. So the place, which place is started, which place is affected, and the person who is affected by this, whether it's young people or children or the elderly people, and the clinical and the lab investigation, how it is going on, what tests they have to perform, and how the facilities and all the things to be described, and must be satisfied as a case. So to describe a case, so we as the team have certain criteria, that criteria to be fulfilled to be describe a case of the particular outbreak or the epidemic. So once the case definition is over, so the cases are systematically getting information about the cases. This is usually done by using the questionnaire or the checklist, and you have to summarize the time, place, and the person. So in case of the coronavirus, the UNICEF and Center for Disease Control, they have given one checklist to how to find out. You yourself can able to identify you are a case or to be going to, you have to go to the hospital, the need is there that they given a checklist. So you can use a questionnaire asking some questions about related to the particular case, whether the case is because we have to identify the right people in the right place from the right time. So because each of these provide essential information for this outbreak, to confirm it, once we confirm the case as per the characteristics of the case, what we described, then we can consider as an outbreak. And the time. So in the time, the development of the case over a time, how long? As per the coronavirus started from the month of December, from Jan, Feb, March, which is going on. So how, when it was started, that over the time and the place. So as this information, the geographical spread of the illness, this picture here I given. So this is about the coronavirus, how much countries, over the 197 countries are affected, and how the speed of the spread, and it is all confirmed that this many countries are affected because of the outbreak. And the mapping tools, so the mapping tools means what are the parts of the area which are affected. So any disease, some particular area, person, people will be affected in epidemic, but as per the coronavirus become pandemic, so the whole globe, the nation is affected, the whole the earth or fully is affected. So as per the corona, it is 197 countries are affected, still is going on. We are still, the experts are investigating the reasons, the cause, and to how to control this disease. Geographic information system, so which part, who is more affected, which area is affected. So the geographical information, the time, the place is very important, and the person who is affected. The age, so as per the coronavirus, the elderly people are more affected. The age and the sex of the people, the male or the female, which occupation, which type of job those who are doing is affected. But in case of in the occupations here, there is about corona, there is no clear ideas which is affecting all the people, all the occupation, everything, and including the doctors, nurses, everyone is being affected. Ethnicity, a particular ethnic group, the origin of the particular ethnic people are affected, and who is again for the risk of the people getting. So as per the corona, the example is the elderly people are more affected, and the risk also for them. So other people, especially children and young people, those who are having good immunity, those who are not affected. So next one, you have to determine the cause. What may be the cause? Especially about the coronavirus, there are many causes they have been identified. They told it is a man-made. Some cause they identified as it is made by as like the people those who are from China, they had the animal food as raw materials they had, so the virus has imported to the places, and it may be there is a reason they given. So but for example, the cause of the outbreak, the pathogens which is already known pathogen or is a new one. For current outbreak, the corona is a novel coronavirus. It is a new one. It has a new one which has started to spread. So what is the likely the cause of the outbreak? This is also known as the hypothesis. So we have to set the hypothesis for that to find out the cause of the outbreak. For example, Vibrio cholerae, we have the already we identified the cause. The contaminated water is the source, and the Salmonella typhi, that is a contaminated egg and the meat is a source. And but if not found, the investigators should find out by analytical epidemiological study to be taken by the research team or the investigators. Example, the cohort study or the case control study. They have to take the cases and they have to find out for a month together. They have to work for that. What may be the cause? If they found the cause exactly, only they can able to control the disease. So that only can be control the epidemic. So determine the cause is very important for to control the epidemic or the outbreak. There can be some factor, the cause of the disease. There always will be some factors. There is a disease means some cause will be there. Maybe the environmental investigation also to be done. So that's why as per the coronavirus, the investigation environment, it is has come from the animal food, animals. So it has come from the animal to the human being. So the environmental investigation, what may be the cause from the environment, what contributed to disease. So that to be find out. Example, the contaminated food or the meat, which is the cause, or the food storage or the hygiene of the people, as we Now we everyone we are taught, all the whole world has been taught to do the hand washing, how to do hand washing, how to cough, how to sneeze when closing all the mouth, when you sneezing or with the coughing. So the hygiene, where there is a problem with the hygiene. So or because of the wrong hygienic practices contributed the disease. So and also the laboratories are very important to confirm the microbiological confirmation of the hypothesis. So as per we do have this outbreak of corona, we have very less laboratories. That is also working only government side. So even the government thinking to import lot of equipment, instrument for the hospital as well as for the lab facilities, which is keep on going on because it may be because it become now than epidemic, it become a pandemic. So we need a lot of equipment to screen all the people to knowing about the outbreak, how speed the spread of the disease. So the hypothesis, the confirmation of the hypothesis, there should be a microbiological confirmation to be done. And the last step of the outbreak is a control. So the primary, the goal of the investigating the outbreak is to control. So all the investigations in case of outbreak, that is main aim is to control the disease. So it can be at any stage of investigation. When during the investigation, they can any stage, their main aim is to control the disease. So now the control process is going on. In case of coronavirus, there is no medicines, still is going on, still the research is going on. So no other way to control. So we all isolated for 21 days. So there is a quarantine isolation to be done, no other way. Everyone is talking about the known method to control is isolation or to be quarantined. So you all there, I'm here. There is a the as a result of this outbreak, the teaching also taking place, the different mode of teaching. So any type of transmission pathways, just the agent, the cause and the environment. So there is a pathway how the there is an interaction between the agent, of course, and the environment. So we should find out and break the chain of these all these. So to break the chain only, it is as per the corona, it is moving to contaminating by one person to one person because of the droplet. So that's why to control the chain of the transmissions, now the procedure of quarantine which is going on. So control measures that maybe includes the behavioral of, for example, mosquito repellent for if in case of the disease which is transmitting through mosquito bite. So we can use the mosquito repellent or for the mosquito borne diseases. For example, otherwise vaccination which is there for the giving a measles vaccine for the measles, and medication example ivermectin we can give for this when the time there was a scabies outbreak. This all done. So as you know that the current outbreak, the medicine is only the vaccination. Let's keep on the vaccination to control which is going on, investigating that medicine to control the diseases, but it is going beyond the expectation of the disease, which is not able to control that much. Each day people are dying more, and all the countries are affected. So the control measures become very mandatory to control the coronavirus outbreak. So here, and the environmental measures, for example, pesticides. So spraying the during the malaria outbreak. So they have done the spraying. Now this also going on for corona. So where they are using some insecticides or some medicines or something like they are using the chlorinated water to spreading all over the places to kill the viruses. And we all, or wherever we go shopping, we are using hand sanitizer, we are washing with the soap and water and hands frequently, and pouring the these turmeric, or we are using the food more the turmeric powders as well as using, people are traditionally using the neem leaves for the houses to not affected by the disease. So like we can use some pesticides, which is possible, but still that also going on. So during the cholera outbreak, they are using that infection control measures, for example using the ppv. So now we, this corona outbreak also the same way, we are using the mask wherever we travel, and everyone you can see with a mask currently. So and it is also whoever going hospital or mall or the house or outside. So this is a, we can, because it is a droplet infection, so we are using the mask to control. And the health education, the target or appropriate education in education, so it is going on. So all over the world, people are giving awareness from the WHO, from the UNICEF and the Center for Disease Control, and also from the mass media in the Facebook, in the Twitter, in the WhatsApp. And it was completely everyone is getting enough health education. Don't go outside, don't interact with the people, make the distance, don't touch people unnecessary, don't do the hand shaking. So these all which are targeted with a particular group of the people we are educating, especially elder people. We are not allowing them to go outside because it is mainly attacking the elder people. So there should be active surveillance. So whether the control measures are working, so we should find out that whether whatever we do control measure, whether it is function working or not. So when it is working only, we can able to control it. So now 144, as per the Indian penal court order, as section 144 is currently is going on. So you all, everyone is at home, we are locked at the home. So because the main measure to control is we have to break the chain of the transmission from the agent and the cause and the environment interaction to be, we have to cut the chain. So that's why we all are isolated. So and also people are finding out whether the isolation will work out or not, because the first in the China they tried, but they got the improvement. They have now no cases, which is newly they are identifying. So they tried, but it is they got a good result. So that's why other countries also implemented. We can isolate the people. So now it is going on as 21 days people to be isolated, and we can cut the chain of the disinfection. The next one is a communication, next step. So communication is a very very important, that a part of the managing any outbreak. There is a enough communication should be done. So this is about the accurate at the timely information, the right to giving for the people at the right people. So you can see the TV, they are asking the interview with the doctors to talk about the disease, how to control, what are the measures that every individual should take to protect themselves, the family, what are the measures to be taken by the families. So it is enough communication now because of the social media we have, and we have the so many messages which a continuous information flow is there. So we are getting so many now, all the messages about the prevention of corona virus outbreak. So the communication is very very important, and in internal as well as the external organizations. So whatever we are local or the other external organization, the state or in the central government or the world, the universe, sorry, the WHO, the UNICEF, everyone is keep on communicating about the disease to control. And the protective behaviors includes, which should be we have to, we may get the people make out get done the time of outbreak. There will be anxiety, confusion and mismanagement. So people are so much panic about the disease. So keep on, people are asking the expert people, don't be panic. If anyway once the corona got, you can be treated with the symptomatic treatment. So don't be panic and increase your immunity. Your immune system will protect you, it will fight against the disease. So that the panic, so don't get a panic. So use the right measures, be at home and use all the precautionary measures, so you will not be affected. And media also can be useful way of sharing the information about online scientific journals. So as you know, every media, everyone, the only one news is about the coronavirus outbreak. So that's why, so these all the medias are actively participate. So now they are participated, they are making debate and giving lot of ideas, expert opinions, informations, and making us to understand how to be safe in the in the house. So this is all about the topic about the investigating the outbreak. So these topics, especially what is the meaning of the investigating the outbreak, in the sense you should know first what is the meaning of this outbreak. So outbreak is nothing but it is just like an epidemic. So like an epidemic, so how to investigate to find out the cause and the circumstances of the disease, or the mode of transmission, and the cause and the control the measures. So again here, so when we can how to control me, there are few steps to be done. First step is very important, that we should confirm if there is an outbreak. Second step to be done, you have to describe who is the case. So who is the case, certain characterizing, we have to describe or we have to define the case. Again, we have to see the time, the place, and the person who is affected with where they are affected, who is at a risk of this epidemic. And we have to determine the cause for the disease, whether it's a food, contaminated food, or the water, or the environment, or the person or animals. What may be the cause, that to be identified. And the next one, we should take all the measures to control, maybe using pesticides or using some behavioral practices changes, or the practices as we do today, hand washing, and also using some mask. And also we are getting information about from the environmental measures, as like spreading everywhere that pesticides and insecticides, and using turmeric and this all the sanitizers. So we using the last step is a communication. Communication plays very important role, because this epidemic or pandemic means it should be controlled, it will spread to all the parts of the places. So that is very important to control the breaking the chain between agent, host, and the environment. So this is going on currently. The control measures, a part of the control, you and me, we both are separated. So other than the traditional classroom teaching, today the class is by online. That is also because of the control measures. And so finally we all are together, so we carry out eradicating or no outbreak. So I hope that this topic will be a little bit useful for you, and you can able to understand, because the practically you can see the outbreak, and also the all the steps whatever I told you, how to investigate the outbreak, how to control it, what can be done. So I think I wish you all the best. Thank you.